Well, you guys, I believe it's April 2nd, and I just wanted to give you a little update on what's going on in the garden. Now, this is my little potato patch where I put all my potatoes into containers this year. And I wanted to show you how they were doing since I planted them. I've got my extra soil here to just add to the pots as the potatoes grow, but they sat here for the longest time and didn't do anything at all, and then all of a sudden they just started going crazy. So this first bucket, I see that some are coming up, but not too much. And I think these are Yukon Gold. But as we go to the next pot, these just sprouted recently, and I had to put some extra soil in there to start covering them up. I'll just show you the potatoes that have just come up in the last 3 to 4 days, and it's just really surprised me. So every bucket is doing actually pretty well. Now these two buckets, they were the first to come up, and they're those small purple potatoes, and they're really good tasting. I love purple potatoes. This little guy just shot up in the last day or two, and then all the other buckets, they've just sat with nothing coming up, and like I said, just in the last day or so, little grain has started coming out of the soil in every single bucket or bag. So in that one, and that one, and this one, and even this bag here, they're all coming up. Now this bag on the end I just planted yesterday, and what it is jicama roots. So someone had sent me, I think probably 5 or 6 jicama roots, and I put them in here. Actually, since I just planted them, I can show you, kind of dig one up real quick and show you what they look like. So that's a little jicama root, and I'm just going to leave them out here with the potatoes. Let me shove him back into the hole. So I'm not really sure how that's going to go. I don't know whether I should have just put one of the jicama roots in there, or whether it was okay to put 4. I put 4 in there, and I put 1 or 2 in one of the garden beds. So the other thing out here are snap peas. And I had put a little chicken wire up yesterday for the snap peas to grow on one side. I haven't gotten to the other side yet. So in the rest of the garden, I just recently put in a new little block garden, mainly for my chase tree that has been in a pot for a long time. And once the sun started hitting pretty hard, it leafed out, and I know it's supposed to bloom. And hopefully it'll still bloom, even though I just recently put it in the ground. Over to one of my garden boxes, this is where I had the hoop house, and I had all my cold vegetables in here over the winter time, and I was eating kale and spinach and lettuce just all winter long. So I just have a variety of things in here now. I've put a beefsteak tomato in here, and I have some collard greens coming up over here. I have rhubarb planted. It's just such a variety of different things. I still have some bok choy coming up, some savory, some comfrey is coming up. I still have quite a bit of spinach, and the broccoli is doing really well. It's got these really huge leaves. I just wish it would hurry up and produce some broccoli. So over to the bed where I had some other cold weather vegetables, I still have a couple heads of cabbage that, well, this one's making a little cabbage head, but they're not doing too well out here in the sun. Actually, they're looking like they just want to go to seed. The Swiss chard is doing really well. What I need to do is pull that out and eat it. But we've eaten almost everything out here that can be eaten that was, in the cabbage and bok choy family. And down at the end, the calendula that I planted has really gone crazy. The flowers do really well here. And in this bed, I've planted probably 5 Marglobe tomatoes. So I don't see that anything is getting to any of them. And every time I plant a tomato plant, I always put companion plants around them. So this one has got some garlic. It's got marigolds, and marigolds are so easy to grow. I just throw the seeds out here, and they come up, within probably, a week or so, they're popping out of the ground. So it's got the companion planting. I've got basil planted around them, And like I said, the garlic and some chives. The calendula is really good to plant along with tomatoes. And in my other bed, I've taken some of my garlic out because I just had so much garlic, I really don't need that much. I still have a lot of transplants to be put in the ground if I can find a spot. And my herbs are doing really well down at this end. The rosemary is going crazy. The oregano is starting to come up pretty well. I've got some Tiny Tom tomatoes. I can never remember what they're called exactly, but I planted 2 of those and I put them in pots and they're sitting out here. Some more beets, some more herbs. My lemon thyme is really doing well. So I've got some marigolds here to put around my little mortgage lifter tomato that I had put in. And let's just check the worm tower and see how it's doing. Well, it's got a lot of pill bugs in it. Well, this is going to be really good compost to use in compost tea. So the worms have really come in and done their work in the worm tower. Now this is something I would definitely recommend you guys do in your gardens. Of all the things that I do or don't recommend, this is one that I do recommend you do. Just get those guys covered back up. The soil was pretty warm actually, so I'll let those guys go back down where it's cooler. Now in my garden bed with the cover crop of the clover, it just isn't doing as well as I had hoped. On this side, besides the clover, what I had planted was carrots, and the carrots you can see are coming up. I hope you can see that. They are pretty close together, so I'll have to come out here and just thin the carrots out a little bit. But until they get a little bit bigger, I'm not going to thin them too much more. I want them to grow this year. The snap peas in here are doing fine. So in this last box, it was drying out way too fast, and I was having to water my squash just almost every day. So I put this piece of black plastic on there and just cut holes for the squash to come through. And they've been doing a lot better. They haven't been looking so sad. That one's got a little broken leaf on it. But this one already has a little flower. It's got a little male flower. Well, I'm just going to take that little male flower off so it doesn't even bloom, because it's the yellow of the flower that brings in the moth that will lay the eggs for the vine borer. So until I get something for the vine borer, which I already have something in mind that I'm going to do, I'm going to stop these from even blooming for right now. Down at this end, I have just one more squash I put in, and then I have my chayotes, and the chayotes are really taking their time growing. They're not growing fast at all. The leaves are just really, really dark. And it is growing, but it's just the vine is growing so slow. So I leave this little cup out here just to give this particular little chayote some shade. I've noticed that with the sun being as warm as it is lately, that he really wilts right away. And I don't want to lose those guys. In my other bed that I had the large cover crop, I had put in some Black Beauty eggplant. And it looks like I planted those on 2/15. So this is how much they've grown since February 15th. And then I've got my beefsteak tomato and 3 squash, and I believe these are the golden zucchini. So this longer skinny bed, I've got some more snap peas at the end. I've got 2 different kinds of cucumbers coming up. Just the regular, like straight 8 long green cucumbers, and then I have lemon cucumber. My other long bed have 4 Roma tomatoes in it for making sauce. And the Roma tomatoes have been in here for, probably 2 to 3 weeks. Well, I normally don't take suckers off of my tomato plants, but when they're just starting to grow and they're starting out, I will take the lower suckers off, so it'll give more energy for the whole tomato plant to start growing up just taller. And then what I'll do is I'll stop taking the suckers off. I'll just trim the lower branches and bury the tomato plant a little bit more. And then I'll just let the suckers go, and I don't care how tall my tomato plants get. And I don't mind the suckers at all. As long as it's producing tomatoes, then I'm fine with that. And you may see down here at the bottom, I've got, if I can pull this plant back, you may see at the bottom I've got this little collar around the bottom of my tomato plant. And that's just a little collar made out of paper. What I did was you just take a little piece of paper, like 2 by 2, wrap it around something small, maybe about the size of the stem of your transplant, and you wrap it around in a circle and then pull it off. And then what you do is you put it around the transplant down at the base of the stem and bury probably 1 inch of it in the ground and 1 inch of it is out. And then what that does is it protects your stems, your little tender stems of your transplant from cutworms. So this little collar has been on this tomato plant for as long as the tomato plant has been in the ground. And it kept it from cutworms or anything that was going to eat it when it was a young transplant. And now I can just take them off and the plant is going to be fine. Cutworms aren't going to get to it at this point. Well, he's just got the label G Pumpkin, and that just stands for Giant Pumpkin. But the grandkids and I are calling him Baby G because he is pretty small when it comes to giant pumpkins. But he is getting his 5th leaf on, and out of 6 seeds that I bought, 6 giant pumpkin seeds, this was the one that came up first and has been doing the best. It outdid the others by probably double. He was twice as big as the others in the little 6-pack. I'm just going to give him a little bit of compost tea because I see that he's dried out today. Now the kids and I came out here and planted him, probably 2 days ago. And he's been doing really well. And let me back up just a little bit. What I did was I came out into the front yard probably a couple of weeks ago, and I dug a hole probably 4 foot in diameter and dug it down about 1.5 feet deep and just dug a lot of compost and kelp meal, bone meal, alfalfa meal, just all kinds of things full of nutrients into the hole, watered it down, and just left it to sit for, a good 1.5 to 2 weeks. And, something else I put in there were worm castings. And so now he got planted in there a couple of days ago, and he's doing really well. I just want to keep any of the bugs away from him that might eat on a pumpkin plant, and any vine borers away. So I've got a good thing to do for vine borers, like with my squash plants. I'm going to try something new for vine borers. I think I probably showed you guys this before. My peach tree is just covered with peaches. And the only thing that I can see on any of my fruit trees is on the nectarine tree. Now this is my nectarine tree, and I guess you guys can probably see that. I don't know what is attacking the nectarines, but it seems to happen every year. It's like something bores into the fruit itself, and then some little sap starts coming out of the fruit. And let me see if I can find one that's happening to. Okay, well here's one of the nectarines that some of the sap had been seeping out of it, and I can see there's a little hole there where it looks like a worm or some kind of caterpillar had gotten into the fruit. I just had picked off the sap that had come out, and so I doubt that's going to be any fruit worth eating if it does grow to any size at all. So if you guys know of what might be causing that, please let me know. Put a comment down below. Other than that, I did spray all my fruit trees last week with some BT, and I believe that just stands for Bacillus thuringiensis. Say that fast 10 times. So what BT is it's a little bacteria that when the worm eats it, it starts eating away at the worm's gut, and after a while the worm just dies. But the worm has to eat it to be able to die. So hopefully that's working somewhat. I do have an additional strawberry bed, so now I've got 3 strawberry beds, and I was picking the flowers off the strawberries so that the energy would go to the roots. And I think it's time now to just give my strawberries another feeding and let them start producing their fruit. Let them start producing their strawberries. because they have a really good root system now. And I'll just feed them with a probably 5-5-5 fertilizer, and just let them produce their fruit. So that's it for the update today, you guys. I'm going to go back to the backyard. Just looking out at the garden. I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of transplants to put in. So I'll get to that, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for stopping by, you guys. And don't forget, leave a comment below this. Hit like if you like, and subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll get updates in your email as to the next video I put out. Thanks a lot, you guys. Bye-bye.